You got questions going out of your mind. Someone with answers now that's hard to find. Like the what and the why and the how stuff works, or just where to go to avoid all the jerks. She's Gear Abby, Gear Abby, Gear Abby, advice that doesn't suck. Gear Abby.
Hello there, my outdoorsy friends, and welcome to Gear Abby, where we tackle the controversial, weird, obscure, and taboo topics that other outdoor podcasts refuse to touch. I'm Shawnté Salabert, an outdoor educator, writer, and former school social worker who's hiked, run, climbed, paddled, and adventured all across the United States and beyond. And here on Gear Abby, I channel all that experience and more into answering your burning questions about our relationships with outdoor people, products, places, and pastimes. Because remember, my outdoor-loving pals, there are no dumb questions, just smart advice. You know how this works. You send questions to myrockfight@gmail.com, and I pick my favorites to answer here on the show. And joining me today is my partner in gear, the producer of Gear Abby, and our official question slinger, Colin True.
Thanks for not saying pig.
Not this time, at least. We've only just started recording this episode, so don't count your chickens.
God, I thought we were through it.
I mean, this begs a question, Colin.
Yeah.
Before you do start whipping those questions my way, how does it feel to be but a mere comedic foil on someone else's podcast?
Oh, I love it. Bring on second fiddle, second banana. What's the term we want to use? I'm
Pig?
into it. Yeah.
Is it pig?
It's not pig. Maybe if I have to be called pig, I won't love it so much, Shawnté.
Okay, fair. We'll work on it. Hey, listen, this is the second episode ever of Gear Abby, so
God damn it,
it's
I'm
a
gonna
work
be
in
pig forever
progress.
now.
I mean,
It's 2
technically-
episodes. If it happens on 2 episodes, it sticks.
Listen, you did choose your own title, so
I did actually.
never forget. But here, since you have chosen that illustrious title and you are my partner in gear, what is your first question for me today?
All right, here's our first question. It's from Lug Soul Lover, not a fighter.
Ooh.
Dear Gear Abby. Okay, I'll make this quick with a classic backpacking question. Hiking boots or trail runners?
Ooh, burn. Lug Soul. You should know that in the backpacking community, hiking boots or trail runners, that's essentially fighting words.
Attention, Gear Abby listeners. This is your producer and partner in gear, Colin True speaking, and I wanted to let you know that sound you just heard, the one that sounded like this, that's your indication that there is a footnote available for you on the Gear Abby episode companion article over on rockfight.co. Go check it out to get even more from every episode of Gear Abby.
Or I suppose they would be if this was an internet forum or, a Facebook group devoted to hiking where people spend about 900 times more energy fighting about the things like pack weight and, whether or not people are inspired by wild or dumb than they do actually hiking. So, but this is not that. This is Gear Abby, where I'm here to help you. I can't vouch for Colin and whether or not he's here to help you, but
I have opinions on this, like everybody else who has hiked a step in their life, for sure.
All right, you'll get your chance. You'll get your chance, pig. So anyway, Lug Soul, I am going to assume the very best in you, that you are not trying to poke at one of the oldest and frankly, in my opinion, most annoying controversies in the hiking world. And instead, you just want to know my earnest opinion on what footwear is best for you. That you are not some sort of jerk who wanted to ruffle my feathers like Colin, but someone with a deep desire to make real strides in their footwear choices. So Lug Soul, here's the truth. I, and certainly not 99.99% of the internet, unless by the internet you mean your personal podiatrist who's on Instagram, I can't tell you what's best for you and your feet, only what's best for me and my feet. But since you opened this can of worms, we're going to dive in. All right. So Colin, hold your thoughts.
I am. I'm trying to be really good right now. We've had a lot of these conversations over on
hold
the
your
Rock
boots,
Fight.
Hold your trail runners.
Yes.
Hold your man sandals. All right. So Gear Abby's here to help you, Lug Soul. So boots have been the footwear of choice, of course, for wanderers since, the invention of boots. The idea that they come with some sort of, the idea is that basically they come with some sort of rugged, grippy outsole, shock-absorbing midsole, foot-cradling insole, and an upper made of, leather or some other sturdy material that's, high enough to theoretically add some extra stability to your ankle dynamics. Boots are tough, they are resilient, they last forever, they will protect your feet, and they will give you superhuman abilities on trail.
Wait, really? Is that true?
No, I made the last one up.
It's like, that's true.
It's not true. Have you discovered any superhuman abilities?
Well, I
on
might
trail,
try
Colin?
again if that's true.
Don't bother. Don't bother.
All right.
That's what I'm here to say. I mean, that is, however, kind of the tried and true way people think about why hiking boots are superior. But let's talk about trail runners, my personal pick for about 900 reasons. So trail runners came onto the shoe scene in the 80s once trail races became a thing and people needed something that towed the line, you might say, between road running shoes and clunky hiking boots. So they're grippy and resilient on uneven terrain, but also light enough to not slow you down when you're out there trying to pound through miles. So the category has since exploded and become the favored shoes for a lot of long distance hikers and backpackers who have the same goals, moving light and fast over, varied terrain. So I think a lot of boot people kind of poo-poo the idea of hauling a pack around while they're wearing trail runners because they say trail runners don't offer the same stability as a boot, the same weather protection as a boot, the same longevity as a boot. And they're not wrong. I mean, they don't. But what these people don't realize is that people like thru hikers are not looking for footwear that's going to last them through middle age. They're looking for something that's going to get them, a couple hundred miles up the trail.
I just wanted to jump in and say clunky hiking boots, new band name.
That's right.
Adding
We're
it to the
keeping,
list.
for those of you new to Gear Abby, we're keeping a list of band names and T-shirt slogans.
Yes.
So
Clunky, the clunky hiking boots would be,
Clunky
I would
hiking
go
boots.
see them on a weekend night.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I want to know, in your mind, Colin, what style of music are the CHBs
Wow, the
playing?
clunky hiking boots.
Yeah, so you don't even have a vision, man.
Oh, they could be all sorts of things.
No, that couldn't.
I'm gonna finish Lugasol here, and then I'm gonna have an answer for you.
We'll see. I mean, my default answer for every single band name we come up with on this show is going to be prog rock. So.
I mean, it's kind of like it's a punk band like that's reminiscent of like the Stiff Little Fingers.
Okay, we'll workshop that. So anyway, I mean, I personally, I'm going to tell you now, Luxol, I am a trail runner person. When I started on the PCT, and I pretty quickly started, I figured out that I not only looked like a thru hiker, but felt like one. And I was just all around, honestly, more comfortable wearing a pair of trail runners. My feet felt lighter. I stopped getting blisters everywhere. We won't talk about my corns, which Colin has loved to talk about on the rock fight. No corns either. And after getting wet, my trail runners dry pretty quickly. So, as a bonus, whenever I stopped to swap into sandals, like somewhere like the Sierra, I wasn't adding 4 pounds to my pack when I tossed my shoes in there. So honestly, it was just a win-win-win for me. I'm a trail runner freak now. I also trail run, so I already have them in the house, although I do use different trail runners for hiking and running. But to be fair, for anybody else considering this question, I started hiking in a pair of Converse sneakers. So the only reason I actually ever got a real pair of hiking shoes, they were some, ancient form of Keens, whose name I cannot remember, is because I used to slip around like an ice skater when I was wearing those things and realized I needed something better because the worst thing that ever happened to me in those Converse, I was hiking in the Santa Monica Mountains. I slipped, I fell right next to a baby rattlesnake.
Ooh, the worst kind of rattlesnake.
I kid you not, the next day, I bought a pair of Keens. So basically, my answer to this question, Lugsole, is that you should pick the footwear that feels best on your foot, that also creates the least likelihood of you slipping and landing on a poisonous reptile.
When you put those Keens on, did you feel like you needed to go right to Costco with all the other Saturday afternoon
do some
dads?
suburban errands.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I did. But I wasn't going to fall on a snake on my way to Costco, which is a real plus in my opinion.
You never know where the snakes are. Maybe they're, buying their 30-pack of Dr. Pepper. Who knows?
They're in the soap aisle, slipping around. Danger noodles.
Got to lubricate my belly so I can get a better slither.
Wow, I feel like that you offered me absolutely zero to work with here, Colin. So I'd like to move away from what you just said as quickly as possible. Please hit me with another question that has nothing to do with slithering on your belly.
I'm not slithering my belly. The snakes are. Okay.
But that's all I'm imagining right now.
All right, next question. Dear Gear Abby, have you ever had actual success with those female standing peeing things? I had a silicone one, and I still had to pull my pants down and everything. It didn't really feel worth it. Signed, Angry Ray.
Angry Ray.
Angry
Oh,
Ray is
man.
pissed.
No pun intended. Yes, it was. Was it?
I hope so.
Your pun? Well, I'm going to say you intended it, and I'm going to give you bonus points for that one because that was very good
Thank you.
thinking
Thank
on your
you.
toes there, buddy. I mean, all right. So first of all, Angry Ray, I would say that I'm disappointed that this is a pee question and not a poop question, but honestly, I can talk about any and all bodily functions all day. It is my special gift.
Come back later for Gear Abby's dissertation on the circulatory system.
We're going to talk about plasma. That's my ASMR podcast. It's just bodily fluid talk.
Just all bodily functions.
That's how I'm going to make my real money, my fortunes. Well, I'm thrilled that Angry Ray wrote in with this spectacular question. So the short answer to your question, Ray, is yes, I've had success using what I would call a pee funnel. I actually have the old school version of the Freshette. It's like this thick plastic pink thing with a retractable tube sticking out of it. It looks very medical. But I got it back when I was doing a lot of climbing because I had these embarrassing to admit, but I had these kind of lofty and, as it turns out, deeply unrealistic ambitions of being, high on the wall in El Cap, pretending I was Lynn Hill Part 2, like taking a really graceful pee break while freeing the nose. Turns out I'm not really a big wall person or a person who ever in a million years is going to attempt to pee while wearing a climbing harness. But that thing did come in useful when I decided to hike Kilimanjaro. So if you've never been, Kilimanjaro, it's a big volcanic mass, and there's no trees once you get high up on this thing. And so I will never, ever, ever forget the feeling of climbing on this completely exposed scree slope high in the mountain, back to back with my guide, Ayubu, while we both peed standing up. It was very powerful, very, very emotional moment for both of us, I'm sure.
Is Ayubu used to peeing with a woman standing back to back with him?
We didn't have much conversation while we were urinating opposite each other. So I like to think that might have been his only time. But
nice.
I cannot confirm or deny.
You're burned into Ayubu's memory.
Yeah, he did email me for a long time after that trip, so it's absolutely
he was into it.
He may have been. I don't know. We don't judge on this podcast. But
there's
Angry
no
Ray,
kink shaming on Gear Abbey.
No, exactly. But I will say,
T-shirt slogan.
That's actually, I would buy that T-shirt, even if it was my own T-shirt that I made for my podcast. I'm buying it. I'd like it as a tote bag as well. No kink shaming. And Angry Ray, you will be pleased to know that I did not even have to expose 1 millimeter of butt cheek to Ayubu or anybody else in the mountain. Because the Freshette was, in fact, tucked neatly into my pants where it belonged, and the pee was flowing freely without any backsplash. It was a great experience. I have to
break in and ask, were you nervous? Were you a little like, I hope this works, because if not, my pants are going to be soaked in pee for the rest of the time on this mountain?
No, because here's the thing. The secret is simple with these things. Practice at home a lot in your bathroom where you can splash around. Water sports. So my recommendation, Ray, and anybody else who is, pee funnel curious, is start in the shower butt naked, or Winnie the Pooh it if you want, choice is yours. But basically wait until you master the basics of this thing before you try tucking it inside your pants. Like that's number one. So here's the deal. Whether yours is enclosed, some of them have kind of like got a situation of like an enclosed funnel you put your business in, or if it's one of the open funnels, you want to make sure that your bits are centered over it so that the pee goes into the funnel so that it can funnel away from your body. This is key. I found that for the Freshette, which is one of the enclosed ones, it was really important to have the top of the funnel kind of flush with my skin. So you are getting intimate with this device. Practice at home. So in the next, you want to do the best thing, the most favorite part of this, which is aiming. For any of us who do not have a penis, like this is exciting to be able to aim and pee because it's hard when you're squatting. So aim yourself at an appropriate target and pee into the funnel. That's really all it is.
Not
Give
Ayubu.
it a quick shake. Not Ayubu. No, that's back to back. Back to back if you're peeing with a companion. I mean, who am I to say? No kink shaving on this podcast. Give it a quick shake, rinse it off, tuck it into a Ziploc, or if it comes with a baggie, pop it in there so that you don't get pee all over your stuff. And once you've mastered this while butt naked or Winnie the Poohing in your shower, try aiming into the toilet. Then add a pair of pants that you might likely wear outside and see if you could tuck it in without splashing around everywhere. So you just got to tuck that thing in back, far enough so that it's going to catch everything and send it away from your body. You want the business end of your urethra contained. That's a sentence I never thought I'd say.
Wow. I am speechless.
My job here is done, Colin.
I mean, what would you, at this point, with the knowledge that you have of using your sheeness, would you rather...
Sheeness.
I
hate it.
Would you rather go
Deleting
that
this
route?
whole episode.
Or would you just get a pair of pants from someone like Nara with the appropriate zipper in them so you could pop a squat with your pants on?
Yeah, no, those are great. I just feel like I would actually pee on myself more if I tried to pee directly through the pants. I feel like I need like a guide. I need a helping hand to get it out. So, I mean, honestly, personally, I never use my pee funnel anymore because I love to pop a squat. I just feel a lot more free. There was actually a time on the Pacific Crest Trail where I was hiking in a skirt for like 2 months on the trail. And I loved it because some days I would just squat, pull my underwear to the side and go for it. It was so, and I'd still have my backpack on. I really felt like I was achieving something when I did that. Yeah. So inspiration for anyone who needs it. But I would absolutely, I would bust out this funnel thing again if I was in a crowded situation like Kilimanjaro, or, if I suddenly lost all fear of big wall climbing, or if I just, wanted to write my name in the snow. Although to be fair, I have done that and it's harder than it looks. Have you done that, Colin?
Of course. Of course.
Okay. Did it look like your name when you were done?
Oh, I could write full on. I could spell my name like in cursive.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a talent. It's no big deal. This isn't about me.
I got to bust out my freshette again and get my skills going.
Do you use
Dear Abby in the snow?
Do you use a Kula cloth regardless of the scenario here?
Oh, I love my Kula cloth. I use that thing all the time. I feel like someone will have a pee cloth question at some point.
Yeah, that's
I've actually interviewed Anastasia from Kula, and she is amazing. Her backstory is super cool. But yeah, I think I have 4 or 5 Kula cloths at this point. I do only have one urethra, but 5 Kula cloths just so I can, it's like wearing a different outfit. Sometimes I want to dab with a cat. Sometimes I want to dab with the solar system.
Where's the outdoor brand? It's going to solve that problem. More urethras.
That's right. More urethras. Right. No, actually, one is fine for me. I'm good. All right, Colin. So we've come in pretty strong today. We got hiking boots versus trail runners. We've talked about pee. What do you have for me next? I don't know whether to be excited or afraid.
Well, this is a bit of a longer question. Are you ready?
Ooh, okay.
I feel like this is going to be the centerpiece of the episode.
Oh, that's so. I don't know what you saying. That just felt very French. Like,
is he?
Like
I'm not even going to do it. I'm not going to go
French
there.
restaurant. I don't want to hear your version of French.
No, the French definitely don't want that.
Centerpiece of this podcast.
Well, why do you get to do it? All right.
I'm partially French.
Okay, so am I.
Je parle un peu de français.
Dear Gear Abby, I'm a hiker and trail runner, and one of my favorite things about getting out in nature is disconnecting from technology. But I'm also kind of competitive, and I want to keep leveling up, especially as a runner. Up until now, I've resisted wearing a GPS watch, but I know so many people who say that I need to start using one if I want to take my running more seriously. Are they full of it? Or can a watch really up my game? Signed, Koros Curious in Flagstaff.
Ooh, first of all, I love that signature. People, please get creative when you send in your emails. Second of all, I got you, buddy. Koros Curious.
Are you saying that Angry Ray was not creative?
Oh, no, Angry Ray is great. I want to know what makes Ray angry. Is it peeing all over themselves like while...
I think the Winnie the Pooh advice gave is really what ultimately is going to make her not angry. But okay, sorry.
Winnie the Poohing solves a lot of problems in life, like airflow issues, all sorts of things.
Did for my dad.
I don't even know what that means. That's terrifying. Okay. We're going to leave that one alone, and we're going to move into this great question that Koros Curious sent. So if you'd asked this question of pre-watch Shawnté, I would say that your friends are indeed full of it, because the last thing I want to do while I'm trail running, hiking, backpacking, any of that is to allow a tiny computer to sort of ruin my experience. Personally, I think being tethered to a cell phone is bad enough. Like, why the hell would I want a little digital dictator on my wrist? But you are asking this question of post-watch Shawnté, post-watch Gear Abby. I now own not one, but 3 GPS watches.
Obsessed.
So let me start with a little story, okay? So basically, a couple years ago, I go to Copenhagen. I'm going to go visit my bestie who moved there. And she asks me a couple weeks before I head over, hey, do you want to run a 5K with me? It's something my work is doing. I was like, yeah, that sounds great. A couple days before I get there, she's like, oh, I got some details wrong. It's a relay race 5K. So there's 5 people on each team and each of them is running the 5K. And it's a couple hours after you land. So me being the luckiest person on the planet, I land in Copenhagen. My train gets stuck between the airport and the city for something like 2 hours. So I have an hour to get to her place. And then she tells me we've got a 30-minute walk to the park. So we get to the park. I am exhausted. I'm delirious. I'm thrilled to be there. I chug a Carlsberg. I am ready to go when
As
that
one
baton,
does.
right? Dude, that baton hit my hand and I took off like a Gouda-fueled bat out of hell. And at some point, I looked down at my watch and I was running an 8-minute mile, which I have never done in this life. So I was blazing. I was mouth breathing a lot, just pure success.
Where does the watch play into this versus
we're
the
getting there.
Gouda and
Call me
the
buns. Call me
Carlsberg?
buns,
I think,
buddy.
come on.
All right, listen, everybody wants to talk about cheese. Let's get to the watches.
Yeah.
So I had a Forerunner 55. It was my very first GPS watch. It's kind of like a basic, great intro running watch. And I had that on my wrist. I'd been training with it for months before this. So I had been training for a half marathon. And the watch comes with little programs built into it. The app that comes with it, the Garmin app, has programs built into it. I'd been using these and I had been, in fact, leveling up my running game. And I finished this 5K with my fastest 5K time ever in my entire life, set a personal record. And I have to say, like, at one point I kind of looked down at the watch and I was like, yeah, buddy. But yeah, it was a wild experience, but I do credit the watch for helping me sort of level things up. But to be fair, so Coro's curious. Here's the thing. Keep this in mind. Just like Red Bull cannot actually make you spontaneously sprout wings, Nikes cannot actually help you fly. A GPS watch is not going to magically turn you into Sha'Carri Richardson. So, but depending on how you use it, it can be a great training tool and a great way to measure progress in your sport of choice. So screw your friends, do what you want, just get out there and have fun and enjoy running for running's sake. And if the watch helps you do that, more power to you.
Gear Abby, screw your friends, do what you want. Another t-shirt, I think. I do want to ask, did you run it was a relay race. So
yes.
Did you just run 1K as part of a 5-person team?
No. Everybody was doing a 5K. And get this, they had me slotted in the last place.
You were the anchor.
Yeah, I was, because they're like, you don't live here. We don't know you. And in fact, Brooke's boss kept calling me Brooke's friend instead of my actual name. So I was listed on the team roster in slot number 5 as Brooke's friend.
That's the best. That's the best.
I felt really loved. Well, Colin, I'm a little sad that we're here already.
Where are we?
We're here on planet Earth. You may not have been aware. We are also here at the final question for this episode.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm quite ready. This is a good one. I'm actually really curious to hear I'm very curious to hear what you're going to say about this one.
I'm very curious to hear what you're going to say about it. I don't even know what it is.
Dear Gear Abby, does anyone actually like Cowboy Camping? Signed, Eric J.
Wow. This one feels like a personal attack. But maybe that's because I'm still a little heated from the boots versus trail runners discussion earlier.
Maybe.
Battle royale of hiking today. All right. So first, I feel like we have to define cowboy camping because I bet a lot of people are not familiar with that term. Colin, when you hear cowboy camping, what do you think?
Camping with a cowboy hat on?
Terrible guess.
No, obviously just camping out in the open.
Camping out. Well, be specific. That's
it's
not
like
specific.
on the ground with nothing over you, like just, bare bones
Tentless.
basics. Yeah.
Just tent naked.
Just maybe, I don't even think a bivvy, right? Just sleeping bag on the dirt,
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, cowboy camping is, Colin didn't describe it great, but that's fine because he's not the host. So, cowboy camping, I think of as, just being out, one with nature. You're not using a tent. You might use a little bivvy to keep your sleeping bag dry, but the idea is that you're out there, getting full access to the night sky, great for stargazing. You don't want to carry a tent maybe because your pack is super heavy or you're too lazy to set up your tent if you're carrying it with you. Or maybe you forgot your tent at home. But there are a lot of reasons people might cowboy camp. My reason for starting to cowboy camp was that the very first time I tried it, I was in Joshua Tree. So I was a student in something called the Sierra Club's Wilderness Travel Course, which is a 10-week. I know, so fancy. Yeah, don't you wish you could have taken it?
No.
You do. It's great. I ended up becoming an instructor. I taught it for like 6 years, but it's an outdoor skills class. You do a bunch of field trips. Yeah, well, you're too old now. You're not actually, but I'm not going to let them allow you to take the class just because you're being salty. Anyway, Colin, I was in Joshua Tree. We're going back to the desert now, buddy. Stay with me. In Joshua Tree, you got to do a couple field trips to graduate from this class. So I chose one to a peak in Joshua Tree that required some cross-country travel across the desert. We're going to climb this peak, do a thing. The only issue is that it was May and it was absolutely broiling outside, like satanically hot. So I knew I was going to have to carry 7 liters of liquid for this trip. That is, if you are doing the math, 6 liters of water, 1 liter of wine. Since there wouldn't be any natural sources out there. So I decided to, sadly, no. Girl can dream. I'm actually more of a whiskey girl, if I'm being honest, but you don't want to bring a liter of whiskey on a trip unless you don't want to make it home.
Yeah, you might, depending on, that sounds pretty hot. You might want that whiskey.
YOLO. Anyway, I decided like if there was a trip where I was going to try cowboy camping, it was going to be this one where my pack was so freaking heavy. So I left my tent at home, braved the wild. So here's my method, okay, Eric J, to enjoy cowboy camping, is that for me, I have to lay down a ground cloth, put down my sleeping pad, my sleeping bag, and then I set up a perimeter. So the perimeter, if you're wondering, is just basically me outlining my ground cloth with every single object in my path that is not part of my sleeping setup. There is absolutely no tarantula, rattlesnake, mountain lion alive who can fight through my highly secure perimeter constructed of top-grade contact solution, fuel, cookware, extra socks, and so much more.
I feel like this is the equivalent of my leg is under the covers, the monster can't get me.
900%. I am that person. When I get into bed at night, I have my nightstand. My light is right next to me. I flick that light off and then leap into the bed like the ground is lava. The monster cannot touch my foot. Even in the dead heat of summer, my feet have to be covered.
Wow.
I know.
Learning so much about you this episode.
It's true. Dear Abby, she's a deep well. Well, if you want to know, though, Colin and Eric J., just how secure this perimeter, this impenetrable fortress that I create is, know that during a trip on the PCT, I woke up in the middle of the night once thinking that something was kind of walking around behind me. I thought I heard a grunt, like a little... but I decided that I probably didn't because, honestly, I wear earplugs so that I can't hear what's coming for me in the night. But I was tired as hell, so I fell right back asleep. However, I woke up the next morning and saw bear prints passing just above my head outside the perimeter. And so other than the contact solution being knocked over, my invincibility barrier remained intact. It should be noted here that I do refer to cowboy camping as turning yourself into a bearito. So just keep that in mind if you decide to try it. But no, really, I've done it a bunch of times since in the desert and the mountains. And as long as the weather forecast is solid, I do like it. I enjoy it. The stargazing is pretty excellent, as is sort of indulging in my own inherent laziness that comes with not having to set up my tent or take it down the next morning. You can get some condensation on your gear. That's where the bivy can come in, but you just don't want to have your face in there creating more condensation. But really, I think ultimately cowboy camping is a psychological battle royale, so consider those first experiences out there to be kind of exposure therapy. Colin, have you done it before?
No, actually the only time I did something like that before, but we always had a tent, like kind of a tarp, not, so no, never have.
Boring. Not hardcore enough for me.
Well, I actually am in tune with reality and understand that impenetrable fortress is bullshit. So like that I will die.
I regret asking you for your opinion. This is for Eric J and anyone else who's curious about cowboy camping. First of all, don't listen to Colin. try the perimeter. Second, if you are still worried about waking up with a coyote spooning with you or, a rattlesnake curled on top of you, the most important advice is to make sure that you have a tent or tarp set up nearby that you can kind of go into if you get spooked. And also, I highly recommend invite several people to join you. Make sure they're also cowboy camping and make sure they're, strategically scattered around your campsite. Sleep tight, Eric J. Well, gonna leave you with that. That is it for this episode of Gear Abby. Until next time, send your burning questions about your relationships with outdoor people, products, places, and pastimes to us over at myrockfight@gmail.com, and I'm going to do my best to answer them or find someone else who can. Today's episode was produced by David Karstad and Colin True. Art direction provided by Sarah Gensert. And I'm Shawnté Salabert, a.k.a. Gear Abby. And remember, there are no dumb questions, just smart advice.
Rock fight!